I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. Well, right after I pick up my e-cig. 1 second. Saved. Uh-oh. Upside down save with the battery coming open. Got it. Toilet paper for the win. Alright. Now that I'm done with my antics. I don't know. It's just a messed up, ate up news day. So I figured I would come on and be a messed up news guy. So just pretty much a normal night, you know. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you've had a good day. Like I said, news is kind of all over the place. So, you know, that's why I look forward to coffee. I look very, very forward to coffee. And, you know, I really like my Colombian coffee. But, you know, just Colombian coffee. I'm pretty particular when it comes to my coffee. Anyway. Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. News is truly all over the place. Not a lot of good stuff I've got for you. That's, I guess, maybe part of the reason why I'm trying to make so much light. Because, some pretty messed up stuff. Let's see, as far as updates, before we get started on news, I've got a mystery package coming. That is cool. I like it when I get notifications of mystery packages. So, you know, they're the extra special ones that you shake a little bit and listen to before you open them up. You know, mystery packages. No, I don't know. I have an idea of where it's coming from. So, like, if you send me something with via UPS or FedEx and my name, my address, you don't have to tell me you sent it because they will let me know. So I get notifications because I have an account with UPS and FedEx. So anytime something is in my name and this address, they automatically send me a notification that I have a pending package. And so I got a notification in email today about a pending package. I have no idea. Well, I kind of have an idea, but the weight doesn't match up. So, not that it's that light. The package is kind of hefty that's coming, but not nearly as hefty as what another package might be that might be coming. So, I don't know. Anyway, mystery package, can't wait. Hopefully, I can live to tell you about it after I open it. Anyway, no, Hillary don't hate me that much yet. I'm working on it, though. So, let's see. Other than that, don't know really any major updates, as far as, like, I'm concerned, the show's concerned, or anything else. Can't think of anything. Guess we'll, jump right in. I don't really have anything in particular to speak about before the show, or, you know, before getting into the news. I know some nights I do. Tonight I just, I'm sure she is, especially considering it's like an 18-pound package. That would be a hell of a lot of Oreos. Well, I mean, I guess really 18 pounds wouldn't be all that many Oreos, would it? Not really. I mean, she's gotten more. Hell, the last time she got Oreos, I bet you she got more than 18 pounds worth. I'm pretty sure of it. That was a pretty substantial, score. Yeah, there was like, what, 3 or 4 Walmart bags full? You know, the plastic Walmart bags full. Yeah, it was, her niece, did that for your birthday, right? Yeah. So anyway. Do I have any comments on news before I get into the news? Well, you know, just use your heads. I don't know what's going to happen. I know, look, I know I'm very, very hard on Red Team. I know I'm very, very hard on Trump supporters. I'm not being apologetic for it. It is what it is. There's a reason I am that way. I don't like being held down on the learning curve by people that just refuse to want to climb the learning curve. Sorry, not sorry. But be careful. If you do choose to still support Trump, if you do choose to voice, even if you choose to, I'm not saying don't voice your opinion, don't voice, absolutely freaking not. But I would avoid physically going places. I wouldn't physically go anywhere to protest or anything like that. Just my advice. You know, I know that the headline or the title of the show, you know, talks about it. Actually is a poll. Then I've got it right here. The actual full thing is most Trump supporters think protest call is a January 6th trap, says a poll. So that's where that came from. It was actually a news article, but I had to truncate it and change it a little bit because I was limited on space. I absolutely think it is. You know, but if you were to ask me, I'll sit here and tell you that I think that January 6th was a setup as well. And I think many people actually would agree on that, but where I think I would disagree with many people is who all was involved in the setup. Because I think somebody else was just as much involved in it. And I think people are being played. Plain and simple. I think people are being played. You know, I have lived a life that I have had to learn that it's important, most important, to watch people's actions, not to pay a damn bit of attention to what they say. Watch what they do. Unfortunately, the cards that I have been dealt in life, I've had to do that for most of my life, even my childhood. I learned at a young age to question everything. And I also learned that if I wanted remotely any normal view about any subject you can think of, I had to pull myself and my emotions out of it and look at it from the outside in, because there wasn't much about me that was normal. So I couldn't use me as a normal plane, if you will. I don't buy this whole left and right versus thing. Not for a second. And if you've been around here long, you know I question even global things like Ukraine, Russia. Sure, there's fighting going on. Sure, there are people losing their lives. But is there more going on behind closed doors? Is this war, this conflict, all just part of a big plan? I think it is. Personally, that's my thoughts. And I think what they're doing is one of the oldest tricks in the book, playing up two different sides. Look, throughout your entire life, you've been indoctrinated to do that, to compete with one another. And, you know, during your entire life, you were given examples of choices, and you can't pick outside of those choices, right? The Rams are going to play the Steelers. The Cardinals are going to play the Mets. And I know I probably got some of that screwed up because some can't play some and blah, blah, blah. I'm not a sports person, so. You know, I really do think it's a game. And I think that's why they spell your choices out for you, even in society, even on social media. Nonstop, you see choices that are given to you on things that there shouldn't be choices. Right? When people are talking about raising minimum wage, there shouldn't be an option put out there in front of everybody's face that says, oh, well, such and such is going to now get this amount of money, but yet that's going to make more than this, professional or semi-professional position that takes X amount of training and all. This isn't a contest. That person that's doing that professional or semi-professional job damn well needs a raise too. See, there's a lot to it, and it's not about just paying more money. You've got to do other things too. It's not that easy, and I'm not a financial guy, but I'm smart enough to know that it takes more than just paying people more money. You have to, well, for one, you got to change the mindset of the people in this nation, because right now we are in the mindset in this nation that we don't have to pay. How do I word this? Because it's not going to sound right. We're spoiled with cheap crap. I don't know what way to put it. You could say you need to buy a new trash can. I don't know why the hell I'm using this example. It's just what's in there. And you can go to Walmart's, right? Put on your good clothes, the good clothes. No, not the Sunday clothes. Not that good of clothes. The good clothes, the ones that at least the entire ass isn't ripped out of. Those. Wear those and go to the Walmarts, and you can pick up a trash can for $7.98 rollback, right? And I know I'm making fun of this, but there's a point here. You can easily get that cheap trash can at Walmart for $7.98 plus tax, and your own work to check yourself out. I had to throw that in. Or you could look at the American-made trash can, if you can find one, and pay $30 for it. Now, many of you, including myself, are more likely to pick that $7.98 option. Why? Because it's a frickin' trash can. But when we talk about how immigrants come to this country and they steal our jobs and all that, well, who's to blame for that? Did the immigrants, illegal or otherwise, make you buy the cheap Chinese product versus an American-made product? I agree, Hexapus, you probably won't. And there's probably somebody, but it would be a little hard to find, I bet. It wouldn't be easy to find. So, and I'm not trying to come down on folks. That's not at all what I'm doing. I'm just speaking the reality of it. That is the reality of it. So, one of the things that we have to do if we want to make America great again is to change our mindset on that. And instead of screaming, he shouldn't make $15 an hour for flipping a burger, instead of having that kind of attitude, maybe we should realize that there was a reason why the United States was prosperous and why we became such a big contender, such a big manufacturer, how we made it on the world economic stage. That was done by hard work and people willing to pay the price for good quality. That went away when the big box stores really took over. That went away. All the Chinese goods come flooding in. See, there was a big shift. And, it's a real shame. It frustrates me because I remember Walmart before the kids took over. I remember Walmart when Sam Walton had it. And I remember how proud Sam was because of the American-made products on his shelves. Now, I know that there were some instances to where there were some issues to where it was found out that some of the items actually weren't U.S. made. But that wasn't fault of Sam Walton or Walmart. However, when Sam passed away, the kids just, well, you know the story. It's hard to find something made in America in Walmart. So we have to get that shift back in our mindset in this country too, that we're going to have to pay. If we want to prosper, if we want a higher standard of living than the people say living in China, and I'm just saying, I'm not pointing any country or anything, but if we want a better standard of living than any other country, then guess what? We're going to have to pay our people better, which means that the items that are made here are going to cost more. There's a lot of people that complain about entitlement, but I say there's an entitlement issue that goes pretty well across the damn board when it comes to political affiliation, when it comes to walks of life. Really. It goes right back to what I've always said. If we want to fix this, it's got to start right here in ourselves. Starts in ourselves, in our homes, then in our communities, our counties, our regions, our states, then the nation. But it has to start from within. And if we want to put this nation back to where it was, then we have to have the mindset of this nation the way it was. And that wasn't selling out the American people for a cheaper made product. That's not how we got where we were. That's how we lost where we were. Can't help it. We can't have it all for nothing. Just is what it is. Guess maybe I did have a little something to discuss. No, it's not. Sorry, I'm just now looking down and catching up. It's not the cheapest place. Absolutely not. I do my very best to support Bezos's big boner. We do buy a lot from Amazon. But the thing of it is the biggest part of it is we don't drive. So we pretty much, when we buy stuff, it's to be shipped. So that's a big thing too, which is a large part of why I go to Amazon. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I would buy online anyway, and I learned my lesson with that a long time ago. I used to be impatient on the level of I wouldn't order anything online because, well, damn it, I had to wait for it then. And largely because of impatience, I wouldn't order anything online. Well, then a few different things happened. One of them being I bought a camcorder one time. I bought it from Walmart, from the store. And it had an issue. It messed up. And I went to go return it to get another one. I wanted another one. I didn't want my money back. I wanted another one. And it was a hell of a deal on the camcorder. Well, I couldn't find one anywhere else. Nowhere else. And when I done my digging, what I found out was that was a camcorder that had issues, and they never did release it in and of itself. But from my understanding, Walmart pressured them for a better price on a camcorder, and so they made that specific model of these screwed up cameras for Walmart. That's the only market it was sold in. And that was it. What they had was it. So there was no, I mean, they refunded my money, but I was out. I couldn't find a camcorder because it was a pretty good deal. I couldn't find a camcorder or anything, you know. And yeah, I got my money back, but I didn't get my money back for all the other stuff, all the accessories, all of the videotape. Yeah, it was back in those days. All of the whatever they were tapes, the pardon me, not VHS. It was a newer camcorder than that. I can't remember. Was it VHS-C or something like that? The smaller tapes, but yeah. So, you have to be careful. Even buying stuff in a brick and mortar store doesn't mean you're getting any better of a deal. Doesn't mean that you're any more guaranteed to be taken care of if there's a problem. And I learned that ordering online, I opened up the full gambit of items available for the most part. I can find specific models. And the other thing is when you've got so many choices, then you can start digging into the different choices and find out which one's best for you. I like being able to do that. When I was shopping for a video card, I like to be able to look at all these different ones, compare them all, look into reviews of them all, and have all those options at my disposal so I could make a good choice. If I go to Best Buy or Micro Center or what have you, I'm probably not going to have all those choices in front of me that I did at Amazon, for instance. So yeah, that's a lot of why I do online shopping, and specifically online shopping, and I would anyway, even if I did drive, had a vehicle and all that. I'd probably still do most of my shopping online anyway, because I like to be able to choose specifically what I want. I don't like being limited if I don't have to be. I don't mind waiting anymore. I would rather wait and get what I really, really want than be impatient and get something that I only kind of want, even though I wanted something else a little better. Yeah, I don't do that no more. Let's see. I guess we could talk about news. I think that's what people might come here. Most Trump supporters think protest call is January 6th trap, says a poll. I know, I read it earlier. Taking to the streets to protest the predicted arrest of former U.S. President Donald Trump would be walking into a trap similar to the January 6, 2021 Stop the Steal debacle, according to a whopping 85% of respondents to a poll posted by conservative commentator Paul Joseph Watson to Truth Social on Sunday. Is the potential protest against Trump being arrested a J6-style trap? The poll asked 1,580 Truth Social account holders, describing the results as interesting. Watson implied that respondents not using the former president's own social media platform would be even less likely to trust Trump's calls to take our nation back. The 2024 presidential hopeful first hinted at his looming arrest in a Truth Social post on Saturday, crediting illegal leaks from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office with tipping him off. He has since pleaded for support in multiple all-caps missives imploring his followers, "We must save America, protest, protest, protest." Mike Cernovich, another ostensibly pro-Trump conservative commentator, advised the ex-president's fans to stay home on Tuesday unless y'all really want to become stars in a sequel to January 6th. Originally a nonviolent protest against the certification of that's just going into history. Not gonna go into that crap, but this is that I think that's what it is. I really do think that, and I think it's a setup from the top to the bottom. From the top to the bottom. Coffee. My recommendation: don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Voice your opinion if you feel that way, But, I'm all for the First Amendment. What I'm not all for is stupidity. And, I must say, going to some type of event involving this would be pretty stupid. It really honestly would. Because it can't be any more obvious. And a whole lot of people apparently are catching on, right? Well, then we've got this article here. Jury reaches verdicts. I thought that was interesting. Reaches verdicts on U.S. riot defendants. Check this out. Prosecutors in Washington have won felony convictions against 4 members of the Oath Keepers militia for their participation in the U.S. Capitol riot. But jurors have been unable to reach a consensus on whether 2 other defendants conspired to block congressional certification of Joe Biden's presidential election victory. Now, hold up. Full stop. Is that what they're saying that the Oath Keepers did? That they conspired to block congressional certification? I would like to see the evidence on that myself. Now, I need to say right up front, I do not like the Oath Keepers. Not for a second. I haven't liked the Oath Keepers for a long damn time. Stuart Rhodes is a crook. He has been a crook, and he is nothing but a baseless face for a money-making foundation. There you go. That is Oath Keepers. I don't think Oath Keepers has the capability of rubbing 2 brain cells together, no less orchestrating a conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. Not buying it. I've watched that organization for too long. The only other organization that I think's bigger than Oath Keepers and more helpless is the NRA. Just to be really honest, I don't like the Oath Keepers. But did they conspire to do this? Was it? I want to see the evidence. I don't want to sit here and just blindly say no, because maybe they did. But I want to see the evidence, because I know evidence for about everything else involving this whole damn thing tells me that there's a whole lot of people that are full of shit that is trying to make a whole lot of something that ain't nothing. And that's what I see. I just assume that this is no different, and that they probably don't really have any evidence to say that this was really a planned adventure. I don't think it was. I could be wrong. And I'm leaving that open because I don't know what their evidence is. But I'm not naive. Let's see. This, by the way, is really good news, don't you think? Russia abandoning SWIFT. We ought to really be doing well here soon. I don't know how much longer this whole deal is going to work out as far as the U.S. dollar, the economic system as it stands. I guess is the best way to put it. What's the words I'm looking for? The structure, I guess, of it. Because I think there's going to be a major shift to the structure of economic systems. But again, I want to reemphasize, I don't think that this is all an organic, natural happening. I think people are working together. I think the end goal, I don't think the end goal is to have these separate currency systems. No. I think the end goal is to have one. Right? And in order to get there, though, they need to get you to beg for it because they love the Hegelian dialectic. And so they need to get you to beg for it. And I think that is what we are seeing the beginning of happen right now. I think we are seeing the beginning of major, major global economic turmoil. And I think that they're literally going to bring the people of the different nations at the same time to their knees to a level to where they'll be willing to accept anything just so that they can get some food, so they can get some heat, so that they can get a home. I think it's going to be ugly. Whether or not I'm right on that, or whether I'm just tinfoil hat batshit crazy, because I could be, banning SWIFT is a very big deal. And it's, I think, going to have a huge economic impact on the rest of the world economically. So, I mean, you're talking about a large nation. And this is just the beginning. How many other countries are going to do the same? You think China is going to continue to use SWIFT? That's a good question. They might. We're not buying a bunch of stuff from China. From Russia. We are buying a bunch of stuff from China. So if China shuts off SWIFT, they're going to be shooting themselves in the foot too. So that you have to consider. If you do see China shut off SWIFT, put on your fucking helmet. And I mean that with every bit of emphasis possible. If China cuts off SWIFT, put on your fucking helmet. Because it's going to hit. So we'll see. Keep an eye out for that. This here just says Bank of Russia has forbidden Russian financial institutions to use SWIFT or use the SWIFT messaging system for transactions inside the country, the regulator announced on Monday. Starting from October, Russian banks will be obliged to only use domestic services for transferring messages on financial transactions. The use of SWIFT will be allowed for only international payments. This will ensure reliability, continuity, and security of data exchange when conducting intra-Russian transactions, the regulator said in a statement. Information on such transactions will now need to be transmitted through the Bank of Russia's own banking systems, services of third-party Russian companies, or through the Bank of Russia's own financial messaging system, SPFS. The SPFS was created by the regulator in 2018 as a substitute for SWIFT on the domestic market. While its coverage is still much smaller than that of SWIFT, which boasts 11,000 financial organizations globally, the spread of the SPFS has been gaining momentum in recent months. In February, the Russian central bank announced that SPFS now has 469 participants, including 115 foreign entities from 14 nations. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do believe that many countries are going to start working around the Western payment systems and around the Western banking systems in general. I think you're going to start to see that happen. Oh yeah, I just looked over at chat. I've saw that where you can buy like pallets of stuff, or I heard about it. I just don't know how. Well, I don't have extra cash like that anyway, but I don't know how lucky. I don't know how lucky I feel, punk. I'd get it and it would probably be a bunch of returned sex dolls or something. It just really would be a bad experience. Bill Clinton's returned sex dolls. Ugh. Okay, moving on. News, Mike. News. All right. Yeah. Oh, man. By the way, I got a copy of that video I was talking about yesterday that was on We Are Change yesterday. I got a copy of it. He puts a link. Luke puts a link to the channels that he gets that stuff from. And for whatever reason, I clicked the link and I can't find that video on the guy's channel that he linked to at all. So, anyway, I nabbed it from Luke's video. Freaking hilarious, though. Because I was trying to find it because I was wanting to give you guys a link. I hate to play it because I don't want to get in trouble. That's all I need. After Pinball's bullshit, I'm a little bit hesitant when it comes to the copyright thing. Because I could fight that, but see, here's the thing. The moment I fight that, the moment that I click that button to fight that copyright appeal, which it's completely bogus, it sends him all of my information, my contact information, my address. It sends him all. See, it sent me all of his information when he did that. Not a very bright guy. But that's why I didn't appeal it. Because I could have appealed it, and then the next step is he would actually have to take me to court. Which wouldn't happen because he didn't. There ain't nobody. It was a frame. It was a screen grab, one frame. It was a parody video. The word parody was right in the name of the video. It was a completely 100% baseless claim. But, I really don't give a shit if he knows where I'll give him my phone number. I'll give him my address. I don't give a shit. I'm not afraid of the dude. But it's not that. It's just I'm not going to make it that easy for him. I mean, he can be a tard all he wants. I don't have to be an equal tard. So anyway, it is what it is. U.S. announces more weapons for Ukraine. U.S. Department of Defense announced on Monday that it will send Ukraine another $350 million worth of military aid. The further supplies come as Ukraine reportedly gears up for a spring offensive despite suffering heavy losses in Donbass. The package is the 34th tranche of military aid doled out to Ukraine by the U.S. since August 2021. By the way, that brings up something funny. So y'all know that, I know most of you probably don't. Some of you do. That's cool. There's a big, huge plane. There was only, I think there were 2 made. I don't know if one of them ever flew or whatever, but it's not flyable now. The other one It was an Antonov, and I can't tell you the number. Antonov AN-2. It was a big-ass plane. I think it was like the world's biggest plane. Well, anyway, that was stationed in Ukraine. And Russia, when they did their first initial invasion, destroyed the plane. They hit the hangar that the plane was, housed in, and destroyed the plane. So anyway, there's a push to try to put together the funds and stuff like that to rebuild the plane. So they're trying to do that, and in fact, in the flight simulator, you can purchase that plane for the flight simulator, and part of the proceeds of that purchase goes to funding to help rebuild the plane. So anyway, I needed to kind of throw that in there so you knew. So it's an Antonov. It's a, Russian-Ukrainian plane. And I guess somebody did up a livery, whatever you want to call it, a paint job. I call them paint jobs. They did up a paint job of this aircraft having a U.S., sporting the U.S. flag and U.S. Air Force on the side of it and all that. And it's totally not real because there was only 2 of those ever built and none of them were owned by the U.S. Air Force. But hey, why not? People just like to do that. It's no big deal. So somebody was he posted pictures of him flying the plane and people were throwing a fit. And the comments, I guess people that were from Ukraine or whatever, sympathetic to Ukraine, were throwing a fit to the comments. And the guy that made the post is like, what are you guys so upset about? And I said, I can't tell you why they're so upset that that aircraft is sporting the livery of a nation that has given them billions of dollars in assistance. And he got the joke and laughed, But that's the reality of it, and it pisses me off because these people don't even respect us. They don't. You go look, find that Antonov, a post of that Antonov plane in one of the flight sim groups, and go there and look at how those people down-talk the American people. And we're sending them billions and billions and billions of dollars. And we aren't nothing but doormat pieces of shit in their eyes. That's no joke. Go look for yourself. Go look for yourself. I figured I would mention that it's not the first time that I've saw that attitude, that stance against Americans from individuals from over there. Because that comes up in groups like that because of different aircraft and stuff like that. So yeah, it's absolutely insane. But sure, yeah, let's send them a bunch more shit. It includes ammunition for Kiev's U.S.-provided HIMARS rocket artillery systems, 155mm artillery rounds, high-speed anti-radiation missiles. Oh, I need a few dozen of those. Riverine patrol boats, I need 5. And other anti-tank and mortar systems. Well, just send me a gross of them bastards. Amid reports of dwindling stockpiles at home, the Pentagon no longer discloses how much of each ammunition type its arms packages include. So we just give them their shitload. These figures have been omitted from every such statement since the beginning of January. But as a comparison of the supplemental fact sheets released with each package suggests that the U.S. has sent Ukraine at least 500,155mm shells since the beginning of March. 500,000. That's a few. Squared. These NATO standard shells are in desperate demand, with Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov claiming earlier this month that his forces need 594,000 per month, over 500,000 per month, to fire their Western-provided guns at full capacity. 24/7, 3 shifts, It's union, though. It's union. Well, the Nazi union, you work or die, but hey, right? Deal's a deal. You wanted to breathe. Get to the front. These NATO... Oh, I already said that one. At a meeting on Monday, however, 18 EU countries committed to providing just 1 million of these shells within a year. Well, you've got 2 months covered there. A figure that falls well short of Kiev's demands. I've got something for them. Probably have to send it in a little video clip, though, or something. Wouldn't do much for him. Well, it might help him in the war. For a second, the other side would be, what the fuck is that? For a second. And like, ah. I'm just being abusive to all my stuff. I start the show throwing stuff at the wall. Then I knock my e-cig off. Maybe I just need to settle the hell down. Nah. Okay. Let's see. This is good news. I gotta have a vape. Pardon me while I have a vape. It's testing me. I'm kidding. It was good, though. I do liked it. Let it take me away. Well, you know, Calgon. It just doesn't do it for me anymore. What? The retail giant. Oh, actually, I meant to read the headline. Amazon slashes more jobs. I don't know why I started reading the subheading. America's big tech bloodletting has reached a new round of victims, with online retailing behemoth Amazon revealing that it will cut an additional 9,000 jobs in just 2 months, or just 2 months after announcing that 18,000 slots would be eliminated. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy disclosed the latest job cuts in a message to employees on Monday. Most of the affected positions are in the company's AWS cloud services, its PXT solutions business, its advertising operations, and its Twitch online gaming platform. Given the uncertain economy in which we reside and the uncertainty that exists in the near future, we have chosen to be more streamlined in our cost and headcount, Jassy said. The overriding tenet of our actual planning this year was to be leaner while doing so in a way that enables us to still invest robustly in the key long-term customer experiences that we believe can meaningfully improve customers' lives and Amazon as a whole. The move came less than a week after Meta, Facebook's parent company, announced an additional 10,000 job cuts on top of the 11,000 positions it eliminated last November. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg warned of the possibility that this new economic reality will continue for many years. Companies such as Google, Microsoft, Twitter, and eBay also have cut thousands of jobs in recent months. U.S. technology firms have been hit hard by rising interest rates and a slowdown in online advertising amid increasing economic uncertainty. Bank of America has predicted that the U.S. economy will slide into recession later this year, as if we haven't been in one, while some economists have warned that even a global economic downturn won't curb high inflation rates. Nearly 140,000 U.S. technology industry jobs have also been cut so far this year, following more than 161,000 such eliminations in 2022, according to a tally by layoffs.fyi. So let me tell you what I think. I think they're only telling you half of the story. I do think that there has been a massive economic downturn. I have been saying that for a long time. Remember when the ships were all parked out off of the coast and everybody was having this excuse and that excuse as to why those ships weren't unloading? Some people were saying it was because of COVID. Some people saying because it was strikes. Some people were saying it was because workers were sick. There was a ton of different reasons why different people said that those ships weren't being offloaded and all that. And I said the entire time, turned out I was right, that the reasons why those ships weren't being offloaded is because those ships had general merchandise on them, and the general merchandise wasn't being bought out of the warehouses, and so they had nowhere to take a lot of that stuff. The only ships that were getting in and unloading were the ships for the normal consumables like food and medicine and stuff like that we normally consume. So this downturn has been happening for a while now. What are we on, 3 years of a downturn? And you damn right, we've been in a recession. I think we're sniffing on a depression at this point. But I think they're only giving you half of the story here. Because I know that's bad enough, right? That's enough right there. But there's another factor to this. I think many of these positions, are being replaced by AI. Now, if you pay attention to like the big layoff with Amazon, right? They weren't laying off delivery drivers. They weren't laying off warehouse workers. These were all like office position type jobs they were laying off. So is AI just taking the place? Do you realize you have possibly talked with AI? If you've had to talk to like Amazon's assistant or whatever, their little text assistant, that's AI. That is AI. And a lot of big companies have went to that. Not just Amazon. A lot of big companies. So is that what is truly, because I think what's actually causing the mass amounts of layoffs is the furtherization of the automation, AI. Just like robots started taking jobs in the 80s, on a more often basis. I mean, technically robots have been taking jobs for years. We don't call everything a robot, although a lot of things could be. Machines could be called robots. Hey, they may not walk around on feet. They may not have wheels and roll around. But it's still a robot. If it performs a function, it's a type of robot. But as technology has advanced, both mechanically and electronically and digitally, software-wise, whatever you would call that, so are the capabilities. And humans will be needed less and less. And we have reached a point to where they don't need a human picking up the phone for that customer support call, because AI can do just as good of a job. At least that's what their thought is. I'm not saying you agree with that, but it's not about what you think. It's about what the company's going to do. That's the long and the short of it. But I question whether a lot of the jobs are going because of that, because of AI, because they happen to be in big tech. Oops, my little thingy disconnected. Coffee. French protest, rage after vote on pension reform. The French government has survived 2 parliamentary no-confidence votes over President Emmanuel Macron's decision to push through a controversial pension reform bill without lawmakers' approval. The failed motions on Monday were followed by renewed violent unrest overnight. The first no-confidence motion, tabled by a small group of opposition lawmakers, garnered significant support in the National Assembly, dominated by Macron's centrist alliance. The motion fell, just nine votes short of the 287 required to pass. The second motion, put forward by the right-wing National Rally Party, was backed by only 94 lawmakers. Despite failing to pass the motion, some opposition lawmakers urged the government to resign anyway. The government is already dead in the eyes of the French, left-wing MP Mathilde Panot said after the votes. It doesn't have any legitimacy anymore. Let me see what's... Wow. I need to clear my notifications more often on my phone. 10 hours ago? Seriously? I'm telling you, I don't pick this damn thing up hardly. I'm not a fan of phones. I used to be, because they used to be neat, cool little gadgets, and now, well, just a damn phone, right? But when they first came out, smartphones, man, that was the bomb. Anyway, yeah, I know something. Governments are going to do whatever the hell governments want to do. They don't care what you want. They don't care what you think. They know what's better for you. Not really, and most of them don't believe that. They just know what they want. Hang on. I knew it. Hell, it shouldn't be that damn involved just to plug in a phone, right? Hell. No, there's only like 5,000 different cables down there for 5,000 different types of cords, so you have to fish. Anyway, I've got some headlines here, if you didn't know. Surprised more hadn't come out since I started the show. It's been kind of a busy news day. A lot of stuff coming out. All right, let's say we get through this and get the hell out of here. Signature Spanish dish gets more expensive. Well, that sucks. You talking about dirty rice? Because I would like to learn how to make dirty rice, but I mean, do you have to throw it on the floor and then sweep it up? Is that how you do dirty rice? I don't know. And is that what's more expensive? I don't know. These are questions that keep me up at night. U.S. South Korean forces rehearse amphibious landings. Gonna piss off the North. Putin arrest warrant shows international law is collapsing, says Medvedev. There's never been international law. How can something collapse that was never there? It was pretty much, they said a bunch of crap, and the U.S. did what it wanted to anyway. Russia becomes the biggest gas supplier to China. Xi Jinping arrives in Moscow. Putin's staff to ditch iPhones, says Commerçant. The U.S. continues to use terrorists in Syria, says Russia. Ukraine only has one chance, says Czech president. G7 central banks to boost dollar funding. Netanyahu waters down judicial reform. Moscow opens criminal case over Putin warrant. Chinese car brands taking over Russian market, says Autodom. Let's see. Kremlin unfazed by Putin arrest warrant. Oil prices crashing amid recession fears. Putin Z meeting kicks off in Moscow. Hungary won't bow to pressure on Ukraine, says FM. I'm trying to add words in there. A German regional leader wants Nord Stream repaired. A Swiss bank shares crater after merger. Middle Eastern Football Union comes out in support of Russia. One of the sports headlines, but I thought, yeah, it's kind of into the news too, in my opinion. Left-wing party calls for restoration, if I can get it right, of death penalty in Russia. Bill Gates wants global fire department for pandemics. Well, Bill, wish in one hand and, well, you know. Asian leader says Putin warrant could spark nuclear war. French MPs threatened with guillotine ahead of crucial vote. And let's back up a second. I would agree with that. I think if somebody actually tried to arrest Putin, I think that is a big chance for a nuclear strike. I really honestly believe that. And I honestly think that the U.S. government knows that. I believe it's in the headlines. I think I'll be covering it. That the U.S. has no interest in entertaining that arrest warrant. No interest. And I think the U.S. knows that. I think that if the U.S. knows that if Putin wanted to travel somewhere and they somehow intercepted him and arrested him, you damn right we would have some missiles coming our way. Damn right. And I think probably about any other nation that tried it would too. Because the reason why I say that is because Putin has repeatedly said that he's worried that the situation that Russia faces right now is an existential one. Well, if you try to take down the leader of a nation, I'm pretty sure that's pretty existential. So, I mean, he said it himself. Let's see. French MPs threatened with guillotine ahead of crucial vote. Yikes. EU nations agree to jointly buy weaponry for Ukraine. Vegan fitness coach charged after baby son dies from suspected malnutrition. Yeah. Dude's son dies from malnutrition. Yeah, won't go there. But, you know, there are some things that are just should be no-brainers. The horror of this is that a young child dies, right? And I'm sure a horrible way, because I had to suck. His entire life had to suck. All because his dad and his dad's stupid ideologies. It's why the people on this planet, not just in this country, the people on this planet need to stop with their agendas. Stop with their self-serving. Kids anymore aren't kids, and they're not treated as a kid. You know? The kids that aren't treated as a burden are treated like a trophy. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. You covered that one. No state is safe 20 years after Iraq invasion, says Russian envoy to the U.S. U.S. announces more. Oh, actually, I read that one. And I read that one. And that one. Let's see. U.S. shouldn't. This is the headline I was talking about. U.S. shouldn't cooperate with Putin's arrest warrant, says Bolton. Yeah, because we would get nuked. Israeli minister says there's no such thing as Palestinians. So when can we call this genocide? I'm just asking for, I don't know, a few 100,000 friends. French government survives no confidence votes. U.S. reveals human rights violations in Ukraine. Top Republican breaks silence on Trump's possible arrest. And I covered that. That is it. That is the news. News that you can't use. Oh, well, wait. I think that's one of our local news stations. I think that's one of their slogans. News you can use. Like, yeah, that's pretty corny. Anyway, I am going to scoot my happy little ass off of YouTube and into a bed under a cover because I'm just so exciting and I just lived such the wild life. I'm like full on coast into my 50s. I'm like, I got my fucking feet, my legs are up on the damn handlebars. I'm like full on. You know. Anyway, I'm going to go take my decrepit ass to bed, and I will hopefully see you all tomorrow. So thank you for coming. Thank you for putting up with my nonsense. I hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.